back to the zone. So, everyone's back in the Ark for the first time in a few sessions. Lots of new info. So, I would like to just pick up from you guys just right where we left off, actually. You guys have just arrived back. And everyone in the Ark is just looking to you and talking, murmuring to each other. And you've just learned some interesting things about Maximon. You guys are split amongst two of your cars, loaded down with extra supplies, parts and things from the Skywheel, which aren't gifts for the Ark. Those are meant to come with the bots to the Pure Plant. But at the moment, they're with you. So I hand it over to you guys as to what are your actions.
Where's Vinny? Who am I saying this to?
Just to yourself, really.
Yeah. It's like, all right, so I'm going to look around for any Kodiaks who are here, and just grab one of them and be like, tell me where Vinny is.
Yeah, they will. Upon learning of your return, they quickly make their way to where the bridge is, which is... Actually, I need to be on the runway map. Let's activate that so it's on the recording. And... oh yeah, there we go. I got the Kodiak's token there, but that's... You guys were actually... Oops. Is it doing that? Actually, over here. That's where the bridge comes in. I don't know why Trace's token is still there. I guess you might have drawn it out when we arrived back.
I think it's funny too. So like y'all will, as you're like moving through the runway, you see that there's construction being done on Maximon's tower, and they're building a higher tower on top of it.
Oh yeah.
There are people like gathering all their weapons and working on a storage for like an arsenal. They're building traps around the Ark, and there's people like working on construction of like an underground shelter and escape route. So there's just like tons of activity of like preparation going on around you. Looks like we're preparing for war.
I forgot about that. I didn't say that when you guys returned, but yeah. So there are many questions, I'm sure, on your minds as to what the hell is going on. The Kodiaks. Now, do they know... Where are you, Vinny? So the Kodiaks know where you are. Are you off hidden somewhere?
I think Vinny would be... Let me see real quick. Move scout. Probably be working, helping to like lead construction of the shelter.
All right. So
Hidden tunnels and escape routes dug beneath the Ark. Oh, and Room had talked about how the airport has like an underground tunnel or something already.
there's
The Thames barrier does this.
Oh yeah.
It's like a maintenance tunnel.
Yeah, you hadn't investigated it yet, but I mean, you as characters don't know necessarily that exists, but hunting about, I mean, you've lived here your lives, so you may have discovered that there's something there, but you haven't really investigated it yet. But
So yeah, maybe we were getting ready to like try and go down there.
right, yeah,
shelter.
which is near. I used to have a name for the park that you made there with the grave site, which is right next to it, over here. So
Barrier Park.
Barrier Park, yes, but I don't know if you guys called it that. That's what it's called in real life. But
Isn't it also the graveyard? I think
yeah,
this
that's
is
where you built the
graveyard.
graveyard. But I don't know if you guys made a name for the graveyard, but in real life that's called Barrier Park. But maybe there were signs up and you just continued calling it that. Anyway, so yeah, that makes sense. That's where maybe the shelter and escape route is being built, is down that way. So the Kodiaks. Last I saw Vinny was working on the shelter down near the graveyard. Nice to have you back, Orson. It's been a bit of a madhouse around here.
All right. Before I go see Vinny, tell me if it's a madhouse. Tell me the mad things that have been going on.
Well, God, where do I begin? This is Charlie. Maxim. I'll wait for you to come back.
Please don't
He's
die.
choking on a bone.
I've had this chest congestion going on for like 2 weeks. It's driving me nuts. Yeah. So every once in a while that happens. You know, Orson is just like, it's too much smoke around here from all this work.
Charlie says, well, Maximon swore down that there was a coup being attempted against him, and he took matters into his own hands and murdered Sixter and Ricky, right not far from our plane, out there on next to the runway. And
so he thought his own people were planning a coup against him?
Yeah, stealing stuff. And then he ran off. Everyone was shocked at his actions. Everyone, even some of his own people. And he was missing for a day or two. Muba found him yesterday. Carried him back. All 4 arms. You should have seen it. And the sternest look on her face. And he's now locked up in the brig. I think there's a tribunal or some sort of trial or something being planned to figure out what to do with him. People are talking about, excommunicating him from the Ark. Some are talking about, taking his life. Some are talking about just leaving him imprisoned. But there's fighting. There's been, some have died actually from fights amongst different groups. We've lost, since you've been gone, we've lost I think 10 people. It's mad. And then the whole place is being fortified for fear of the Hell Riders coming on. We've gone into full militant mode. Although, I have to say, it does make me feel a little bit safer that it was happening, but there's a lot changing, man, and far too fast for me. Glad you're back, Orson.
All right. Help everyone get everything squared away from the vehicles. I'm going to go find Vinny and talk to him and see what he can tell me about something going on.
On it. I'll get the gang.
All right. So I'm going to turn around. I'm going to turn around to all of our gang here and just be like, is there anything you all are wanting to do, or do you want to come with me and check in with Vinny and find out what's going on?
Well, it's important that he find Vinny, certainly. He'll know what's been happening. I'm going to make sure Edmund is well taken care of, and I need to speak to Estrina.
Do we have Saul with us right now?
We do.
Okay. Trace, do you have things you need to do, or are you wanting to come with us?
Can't hear you, Saul.
I was thinking, sorry. I can join you.
Okay. And McKellen?
I'll catch up with you later.
All right.
And
All right, Trace, come with me.
And Rand,
And we're
what are you doing, Rand?
oh sorry.
I'm gonna go get my servos repaired by thingy. Can't remember his name.
Pontiac.
That's it.
Okay. Oh, going down to the graveyard is a little bit of a trek. I will let's deal with McKellen first.
So I'll ask one of the Kodiaks. Do any of you know where Katinka is?
She was last at the plane that I saw. But I've been wandering about all morning.
Not a problem. I'll find her. Everyone, this is Edmund. He is the leader of the mechanicals at the Skywheel. He is an honored guest. So please treat him as such.
By the way, that has gotten even more looks. You guys are known for every time you come back from the zone that you bring another mechanical with you. And true to form. You literally have, I think, almost every time. Other than the first expedition to this sky. No, you brought Katinka back with you that time. Yeah.
The zone's just littered with them.
Yeah. Edmund immediately goes to Katinka and begins to commune with her to share information.
Did they seem to be doing that verbally, or are their eyes like flashing?
Their eyes are flashing.
Right. I will leave the two of you to catch up.
Yeah, wait. I found my mute button. Yeah.
I know I have important business I need to discuss with Estrina, but if either of you need anything, then the Kodiaks will be sure to fill those needs.
Katinka looks at you. Understood. And then looks right back to Edmund.
And then I'll leave them and try and find Estrina.
All right. Where do you look for her?
Chroniclers.
Yeah.
HQ.
So she, although I won't be able to show you on this map because the resolution is so big, but at the center of this circle, which is the back of that long white rectangle,
yeah,
on the ground floor is where she has two rooms. One is a living quarters and one is like an office, for lack of a better word. More of a operations center really for her, but you do find her there. And she's busy looking through an ancient text. And as soon as she sees or senses your shadow in the door, she just stops and looks up.
Return from the zone.
You're a sight for sore eyes.
Likewise, although it seems that a lot has changed since we went out there.
Oh my God, that's an understatement. It's... I don't know where to begin. I guess you've heard, but the stability of this arc is in question, although...
Seems like everything's teetering on a knife edge.
It is. The military preparations has got people a little bit more secure, I suppose, at least from the Hell Riders, but it's the internal conflict that's really bothering me the most. We've lost several. Just from infighting. But we have a tribunal planned, and I hope somehow it will bring stability, but it also has the potential to bring discord.
Certainly, it was close enough the last time when things nearly fell apart at Assembly. So this all happened around some coup attempt in Maximum's Gap.
Yeah. Unexpected. Hard to believe.
It seemed hard to believe.
But I don't know. Ever since the Elder got ill, the power struggle amongst this arc. You know, as well as I, how much we have tried to maintain amongst everyone the Elder's wishes. But it's been a year. And I fear that allegiance is beginning to wane towards a survival instinct.
We lose more of the Elder's guidance with each day.
I'm not even sure everyone in the Ark believes the Elder is still alive. I mean, they only have our word.
I wouldn't say it's safe to move him. But if one thing could bring some visibility, perhaps. But then for the people to see him in the state that he is now, could make things a whole lot worse anyway.
Oh, yeah. And they know he's ill. We haven't kept that from them.
There is one big thing that I can present to them, though. On our latest outing, we have found yet further proof of Eden. And we have actual solid leads as to how we might locate it.
That is amazing news.
Yes.
What?
From what we have found, we will be certain to face trials and tribulations. There are, before the cataclysm, the ancients sent word to those who were worthy to head to command centers linked to Eden in some fashion. From where I've seen the location of these, they are all in sites of great danger.
Of course they would be.
I believe if we overcome the trials the ancients have set us, we could be in the cusp of finding the paradise that the Elder spoke to us of.
This could unite us. I mean,
At the time we most need uniting.
up until now, this is... McKellen, this is huge. This is like... Well, evidence. This is... We haven't had any new leads for... it's just been a story. This could give people hope. We must share this at Assembly.
Yes, that is my intention, and having heard of everything that's occurred here, it's crucial that people hear this news and know that there is a reason to stay the course and not descend into anarchy. When is this tribunal occurring?
It hasn't been scheduled yet. We set it up, but no one's rushing to make a date just yet because we've never faced this before.
And who have you had to carry out the investigation?
As a GM, I forget. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Who the hell, what do we do with it?
The investigation? What do you mean? Yeah.
We haven't set anyone up. That's why I don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
We've only just... Actually, it was only... Yeah, okay, back in character. It was only just yesterday that Maximon was found. We haven't yet. The dust hasn't settled enough yet for us to decide on how this is going to be carried out.
But he has been witnessed killing one of his men, was it?
By many, including myself. And Oskarsson. And Muba. I think it's affected Muba deeply. Although she was his
Perhaps-
bodyguard, she is loyal to the Ark.
Perhaps I might see Maximum in the brig. I would hate for this to be another situation like the brain parasite.
Yes. I've been meeting with Ascarshan and Marlot and Vinny was at the last meeting. A friend of yours.
I wouldn't go that far. We spoke of Vinny before I left, of his desecration of the dead. We know that
But-
he was riling up the crowd at the last assembly.
Yes, I know. But as far as determining an investigation, it would be to Ascarshan and Marlot at least that I would turn to, along with myself. We have lost, while you were gone, two of the chroniclers have died. Caught up in a fight in regards to Maximon. Trying to keep the peace. Ellen and Amy died. Our numbers dwindle.
We were already weakening in strength. This is the last thing that we need.
There are 3 chroniclers who aren't affiliated with any group yet. Actually, there's 4. And I would like to
As long as we
approach
can
them.
trust them to be in the presence of the Elder in his condition, then
Well-
we should bolster our ranks. He requires so much care now.
I know. Well, that is to be determined. But I'm looking into that.
Very good.
I may ask your help in the recruitment.
Of course.
But not now. You've just arrived. You just arrived to a madhouse.
Yes, and I will do what I can to mitigate against this madness. Do I have your leave to speak with Maximum in the brig?
Yes, but be careful of your words.
Of course.
All right, I want to
I will-
jump.
Leave you to your reading.
She nods. He goes right back into it. And I want to jump now because it's close by. I want to jump to Ran, going into Pontiac's garage. And let's see. That's a giant McKellen. Merrick and Shirley work with Pontiac. And Ran, you arrive at the door. The door's on the south side there. Actually, Vinny, you're down. Your token isn't there. Every time I click it, it shows up in your character sheet. Wow, you can move it, and I can't. There we go. I make you smaller. Or somewhat smaller, anyway. There we go. Although it's still very large compared to the scale of things. And I can't move you anywhere. Other than with my arrow keys, but it's as far as I can do. My mouse is being really weird. Anyway, you arrive, and you can't see Pontiac, but you can hear him, and he's singing, or humming anyway. He's not singing any words. And you hear some hammering on some equipment. Merrick, you see up far in the distance, looking through some bins of scrap. Shirley is right near the entrance. Looks like she's taking apart some device, or attempting to anyway. And she notices you when you step into the doorway. Oh, the new mechanical. Hello.
I'm gonna raise my hand in a hello motion. Straight up Wally type stuff.
Oh, right. You're not very talkative, but that's okay. You'll get used to us eventually. What? Oh. You've been injured. Or damaged, actually. Sorry, I'm sorry to think of you as an organic. Pontiac, he says that just because it's a machine does not mean it's not alive. All machines have life, blah, blah. But, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Pontiac! And shortly after that, he stops singing. What? Rand's here to see you. I think he needs your help. He'll be right with you, Rand.
Thank you.
And Pontiac comes out with his new wrench that was got for him. I think, or did you guys just pick it up? No, you just picked it up. You haven't given it to him yet, have you?
Yeah, no, I haven't given it to him yet.
That's right. And he's all greasy. Ah, yes, another fine specimen of ancient engineering. Welcome, Rand, to my castle. Well, it's a castle to me.
I got gesture to my like lower left of my chest, where it's the chassis kind of cracked, and kind of where my center motor is, like connects my waist to my torso.
Oh, that must be giving you some hindrance there on your movement. We can't have that. We can't have that. Right. Over here. Over to the workbench. Come on, you. And he starts humming again. Dum, 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 dum. Right. And he pulls his lenses down. He's got these jeweler's lenses, this contraption of glasses and lenses that he pulls over, and he tries various different lenses to get a better look. And there he is. I think, yes. And all right, I need to look at the stats for this skill to make sure I do it right. Let's see. Okay, that's that. Wait a minute, that's for making things. Ah, there we go. And he's got a skill for +2 on repairing. All right. Oh, we got a lot of dice here. if you were really hurt, he'd, he'd have fixed you right up completely, but you were definitely fully repaired. Now that's about an hour's worth of work there for him, but so he has to fashion a bit of a part. There you are. Try it out. Jump up and down.
I'm just gonna like do like the most mediocre, like least effort put into jump. I know you're gonna jump the floor.
Rand is just nonplussed on that. If you could roll your eyes, you probably would. So you've been out in the zone. Anything interesting?
I gained me, I guess. My memories have been partially restored.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And anything interesting in your memories?
Yes, but I'm still thinking. I think that's what people say.
It is. But
Like,
you...
take a day or two of time to think on these memories of mine.
Well, when you've had your time, I would be most interested to know of technological marvels of the ancients. And I've helped you, and maybe you could help me. Although I help you freely. Sorry, I don't mean to imply that you owe me. No. I mean, it is an honor to work with such a fine piece of work as you. Sorry, that's so rude of me. I hate referring to you like that. And you can tell he's quite embarrassed, actually. He doesn't talk to people too much, and he's a bit socially awkward. But you're welcome to hang out here around the shop if you want. But
I might just
cool. I'm working on. Well, I'm trying to figure out this. I think it's a machine. I'm not sure what it does, but I'm trying to figure that out right now. But you're welcome to look about, or just to sit. I haven't got any power source, I'm afraid.
don't worry about it. I'm gonna have a look at what they're trying to figure out, I guess, that Pontiac just mentioned.
Okay. You will need. See, what's the skill equivalent?
We scan or analyze.
It's data mine.
Oh god.
Yeah, is that not one of your tough ones?
Get 5 base though, so I'm not complaining. Roll data mine, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well then.
Well, you got one. Hold on. You have learned that this is actually without giving away to everyone, but with your newfound knowledge, you know exactly what this is. This is a laser welder used in repairing, but it uses a laser to do so, so it doesn't need any supplies. It melts the very pieces together.
I'm gonna try and explain it to Pontiac. Like try, but see if it'll succeed.
Okay. How do you say it?
So, what you're looking at, Pontiac, at the moment. So I assume this is a question to you, Andy. I assume they've got welding stuff here, or do they just like hit stuff with nails and hope it stays? Type stuff.
Well, they have no electricity, so there's no arc welding.
Yeah.
So hit stuff with nails and hope it stays. Bolts, hand drills, but they don't have anything that could weld.
Right. So, they've taken it apart, haven't they? So, I can't exactly like show it off like a teleshopping type thing.
Yeah, well, they've got he's got some pieces apart with it, but you know that it will take an e-pack, so it doesn't need like mains power. It just needs basically a battery, and it'll work.
Right. So,
And- Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that you have an e-pack.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I actually have a couple of them.
So this is a piece of
You've
It's
seen
all
you've seen one of
makes
these
stuff.
before?
I have. It's a tool, like your. What would they call a drill?
What would it? I open that up to the party. Hole maker.
Screw turner.
Yeah.
Twist rod.
Yeah, go screw turner.
Maybe like
Screw
a
turner?
spin digger or something.
There you go.
That's it. So I'm gonna go that, and point at the spin digger, and it's like that, but better.
How does it work?
I'm going to pull out one of my e-packs from my from I guess me, and I'm just gonna pop it in, and then I'm gonna look at what were the names again of the two people that are in the room besides Pontiac?
Merrick and Shirley.
I'm gonna look at Merrick and go I'm just gonna point to the scrap mill and just hold up two fingers. Or two digits, technically.
Okay, yeah. And he stops what he was doing, and he brings over. What are these for?
I'm just gonna take him from put one thing and just laser weld them together, if I can.
You can. You've learned how to use it, and it does it very well. A laser welder has a gear bonus of +3 to repair, manufacture, and jury rig. It can also be used as a weapon. And ooh, that's going to give a bonus to the arc. So, but first, Pontiac is just like like an old prospector who just found a vein of gold. He puts his hands to his head and just, oh my Lord! What is this? Do you know the time that will save me? What do you know what it's called? What do you call it?
Laser welder.
Laser welder. I've heard laser. I've never heard the word welder before, but okay. That's what the ancients called it?
I assume so, I guess.
Yeah, you would know so. That.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm saying I assume so because I've only got partial in my memory.
Oh, yeah. That part you gained.
Okay, yeah.
In the document I gave you, I specified which parts were kind of vague. Also, what's kind of vague is some of the details of some of the missions you were sent on, but I forgot to put that in there. Oh, such a gift. However, this EPEC is yours, so I will endeavor to find one of my own.
When I'm out, I'll try and find you one, because this is going to help you and help the Ark as a whole. And if I can use it to protect the people who I care about, then, well, the people who helped me really get out of that place, then yeah.
I would be most grateful. And he's just staring at it, almost worshiping it.
You're unhooked when you pack and like,
Yes.
it's my leg.
Cal, I'm gonna have you do the roll. It's a D6. This will be the bonus to the tech level of the Ark. 5 points.
Nice.
Nearly max. Where's my Ark
Awesome.
sheet?
Need it.
Technology up to level 40.
We really need to work on our food level.
Yep, that's the weakest one though, but okay. I'm going to leave you there for the moment, and I want to go jump to Orson and Trace. And where did the rest of the Kodiaks that were with you on the journey? So that's going to be, oh good God, Liz and
Algernon and
Algernon and Halbert.
and Connie.
Oh, and Connie, yes, of course. Did they come with you, or did you have them assist with unloading the cars and securing things?
I'm assuming most of them are going to be busy, taking care of cars and getting themselves situated and everything when we get back. I feel kind of like, we've got like our leadership group in the Kodiaks, and then we've got just the regular guys. But of those guys, though, there is. Let me bring up my list here. I do think having Halbert come along with us might be useful, because he's a clairvoyant.
Okay. And would it be standard practice, so, coming back from a zone, to clean out any loot from the cars, any artifacts and supplies you found, and then also to refuel them, ready to go at a moment's notice?
That's actually a good question. What do you guys think? Should we keep our fuel in them so that they're ready to go, or does that make them a more tempting target to try for somebody to steal?
I think, emptying them out, all the loot, put it in the plane, and keeping them ready to go is definitely the most logical thing.
Yeah. These are. We have to have keys to start these, right? Is that the case? Or do we just have like an ignition button we've rigged up on them?
I'm gonna say we never really established that, but like in Mad Max there was no keys.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the idea of like the keys making it through the apocalypse and ending up with the vehicle are pretty thin.
Good luck with that. There might be one vehicle out of every 500 that might, but if that.
Yeah. So they probably just have like a push button ignition on them. Okay. Yeah. No, I kind of feel like, I mean, booze is a resource. Like, we probably just try to gas them up as much as we feel like they need to be gassed up for each mission rather than just keeping them ready to roll with a full tank at all times.
True.
All right. Okay, I am gonna, for maintenance though, I forgot. I'm gonna subtract a dose of booze just for your journey back. What you burned. Can't remember. Is it a unit of booze per zone?
I can't remember.
Sure, let's have a look.
That
All right.
sounds about right.
I cannot remember at all. Oh, it'll be in the card description, I think.
Yeah, page 94.
Well, I mean, the actual, I got a vehicle tab.
Oh yeah, it says it depends on the vehicle.
Yeah, there we go. Piercer is 1 unit of petrol or booze per zone. And Death Wish is the same, so you guys journeyed. One, two, three, 4, 5. So that's 10 units of booze. Oh dear. Oh, there's 10 per bottle. So you're down to 1.6. Alright. You can only make it basically one more trip like that. And you need more fuel. You won't have enough fuel to get home for a second. Alright. So you guys approach this graveyard, and near it, near the border of the river, work is beginning. On another project. Vinny, are you visible?
No, I feel like I would maybe be down in the tunnel.
All right. So, Orson, when you get there, you don't notice Vinny, although you do see people working, and this is where the Kodiak said they last saw him working, but they're all concentrated on this building there that's right on the edge of the water.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna approach him. I'm assuming, as I get close and people see me, that Vinny's gonna come out and meet me himself.
As you approach, the people who are working, eventually they do notice you, and they look up. Orson's returned.
So
And someone says down into the tunnel to some of the people working, or what's part of it, is, Orson's here. And you hear that, Vinny.
You see, well, yeah, there's just like a big commotion happening, I imagine. Exclaiming, Orson's returned. Vinny comes out, walking quickly from the tunnel entrance, and Lord Orson, I approach you and I give you a deep bow. I am so thankful you have returned safely.
Okay. I walk up and sort of drape a big meaty paw over your shoulders. And it's like, it appears there is a lot you need to inform me about that has happened while I was away.
There are many goings on, yes.
And
What was it
I start just sort of start walking, and you feel that sort of firm pressure on your shoulders of like, follow along with me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like right next to you. Petting your hair.
So
Are you hurt?
You petting him?
Are you hurt at all? Do you need anything from me?
Actually, I don't even remember. Let me look at my character sheet.
I don't think you are injured, but
No, I'm fine.
That is good. Was there any sign of Hellriders? Have the whole arc preparing for their arrival, for their army.
Have we heard or seen any movement from them close by? I
only
don't think we
the
have.
only the radio tower and
Oh.
their, because they were there, obviously they
Oh,
were
yeah.
there, but there
Yeah, okay.
was
Must
there's
have-
also the museum.
I would tell. Yeah, I think they were out of town when that happened. So I would tell them like there was sightings of some of their bands roving near the museum, not too far from here.
Yeah, so we encountered a group of them at the radio station we went to. So they're in the vicinity. It's good that everyone's working on getting the arc ready for them. Okay, come here, mister.
We've been laying traps, organizing. And...
We can get into the details of the preparation soon. There's far bigger things going on here than the defenses right now that I'm concerned about. So once we get away from, out of earshot of everyone else, I'm going to sit down with them like, all right, I need to know what's been going on here, and I need you to leave nothing out.
Speak of Maximon. Yes, his delusion finally got the better of him. He lost all control and murdered his own man. May the great mutant protect Sixter in the afterlife.
Okay, so what? Well, tell me the actual events that happened here. So he began thinking there was some sort of coup happening against him. How did that happen?
There was Julia, his dog handler, who has now joined us, had been stealing food, and Sixter had been stealing bullets and turning minds and hearts against Maximon, and this was discovered by Maximon, who took it upon himself to enact his own version of deluded justice. The other leaders have formed a tribunal, which is at my suggestion. Which I would hope for you to be a part of. The Ark looks to you. We're in a perfect position for you to become its leader and unite all of the factions, and even those unallied with any. We will have a great statue built of you, Lord. Looking down on us and looking out for us.
Well, I'm not concerned about statues. What I am concerned about is making sure that our people don't turn on one another and bring down the runway by themselves. This all fits in very neatly with your hatred of Maximon and your desire to see us in power, Benny. What? This is I've known you for years. This is what you've always wanted, and now it's all happening at once while you've been left to your own devices. tell me, tell me
Great.
honestly, how involved in this are we?
The Great Mutant provides. They see the future of the Ark, and that future is the Kodiaks. They've been communicating with me through visions.
Well, I would think if there was a great mutant that wanted to communicate, that wanted me to be in charge, maybe it would talk to me.
It knows you are much too busy. I am your agent. It has used me as your arm of justice. Here, let me show you, and then I'll mind terror Orson.
Oh my
No,
God.
no, you're not putting your mouth on me right now. Or is that one of the things you have to like bite me to do?
Oh,
Nope,
that's
it's just
Parasite.
an immediate mental like image that just starts appearing in your head. I'm just gonna use one mutant point to do it.
You should.
Let me roll.
Just wait a minute. One mutant point. That's to inflict confusion or doubt.
Yeah.
Would it not be the?
technically-
Would it not be the last one to create an illusion? Although in this case, it's. And that would cost you 2.
Oh,
Speaking of which, I forgot to do the
I can't.
mutations.
Really right. Oh.
Hold on, let me do the mutation bonus. I forgot to do that. I always forget it. There you go.
Okay, so I show you every vision that I've had, which is Maximon murdering Sixter, the Elder being murdered by Maximon. Those were the 2 main ones, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, and Marlot and her people like joining us, like pledging their allegiance to.
Oh yeah.
Had the one image of them, her whole gang like taking a knee to Orson. Let me roll my mutant backfire real quick.
Is there anything I have to roll, like, if this is confusing me or whatever, that I have to roll to resist it or anything?
Nope. It's automatically believed.
Oh. Supercharged.
You haven't got that one before. So
No.
take your mutation points back, and you can do it again. Or somebody else. I mean, to him or someone else. But the only other person here is Albert.
And Trace.
Yeah, but she doesn't have
It
a
won't
brain.
exactly work on me.
Yeah, I don't really think it. The context I used it in doesn't necessarily work. So I'll just take the.
Yeah.
But maybe it's that like the visions are so clear, detailed.
Yeah.
It's been preordained, Lord Orson. All the events I have seen in my mind have come to pass.
So the effect of this ability that he's using, what does it do to me?
Nothing.
You just believe what he's put into your brain is. There's no doubt in your mind that it's true.
Okay.
Also, you would know, Orson, that seers, that's actually from the animal book.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that was
back when you were in,
Chevalier was a seer.
Yes, right. So you're very well aware of the ability of seers. You would have had that back in Project Alpha. I think that's what it's called. Before you escaped, you would have been around seers plenty. But yeah.
I'm so thankful for your return, my lord.
Yeah, I'm kind of shaking off these visions I've just had of like seeing these things and understanding that they were supposed to come to pass. Right, don't do that again. I I don't
I'm sorry.
I don't lead by visions. If the seers see the future and tell me things are supposed to come to pass, then they are going to come to pass whether I do it or not. These are visions. These are predictions. I do not want to see us causing division within the place that we live to make this happen.
Only Maximon has caused any division here, and so long as he remains alive, his people will follow him and create strife in the Ark, and the infighting is already notable. Tribunal must lay down the decision to execute Maximon, or we will never be a unified Ark.
Now, I'll talk about this tribunal with the other leaders and see what we can arrange. We've never had to have something like this before, so we have to decide how it works. And I think it's important that it is not the will of one, but the will of all that wins out. If the prophecies say Maximon is to die, then who are we to challenge it? But also, who are we to try to make that happen? It was already preordained.
Perhaps the
Anyway.
great mutant will show me again. I have not been gifted another vision in a day or so. I've been trying to help get the shelter in place for imminent attack from the Hellriders. There's one
Anyway,
other thing, Lord Orson.
Well, it does not look good for the Kodiaks if one of the traitors to Maximon is now a Kodiak and living among us.
Everyone saw that Maximon was about to murder Julia in cold blood. We have offered her a place of protection and safety. No one will fault us for that. That is what we offer the entire Ark. But there is one other thing. And I'll pull out the journal. And I'll, read it to you.
Do you still have the text? Or shall I just make it visible to him?
I don't have it. I don't see it.
All right. Oh, I haven't made it visible to anyone. Here, I'll make it visible to you and Black. In handouts, you will see under the journal tab, you'll see a thing called diary.
November 14th. I left the Ark like a thief in the night. Kind of long. And I'll read it to you. And then say, It's to McKellen. Only Marlot and Skarshin know of its existence. Found it amongst Maximon's belongings. I believe he's been hiding information of Eden and is planning to or already has murdered the Elder.
Okay. Halbert, come over here and see what you can tell me about this. I want to have Halbert use his clairvoyance on this diary.
How can I mess with this?
I didn't hear what you had actually said, Unicorn.
No.
Did you say something to...
He said, how can I mess with this?
No, before that. Did you describe it differently than what it says?
No, but I described it how I obtained it. I lied.
I didn't hear that part. What did you say?
I said I found it amongst Maximon's belongings,
Oh,
and that
okay.
he'd been hiding it,
Oh, right.
and as
Oh,
per
okay.
the vision also
Yeah, that's the
has
part.
already. Oh, here we go. Mind terror. Confuse others to make them miss their next action. How does clairvoyance work?
It's a...
It allows them to see the history of items, if I remember it right. But look it up. I was trying to look it up a minute ago, but I couldn't find out what book it was from.
See what has happened long ago or something connected to an object you touch. The vision is often blurry and unclear. Does using a mutation count as an action?
I can find out really quick.
Yeah, it must do it.
Actions, I mean, yeah, actions.
You can only do it once in combat.
Yeah, actions say roll for a skill or program or activate a mutation, animal power, or module. So that is an action.
I'm gonna mind terror him to make him miss his next action.
What do you do to him to make him do that?
It's like a psychic attack, basically.
Yeah.
I used it on Maximon, and he just like got this searing pain in his head, and
Okay, so it's like a big headache.
essentially, yeah. Okay, no backfire.
And that was for Halbert. And he holds the book and he closes his eyes, runs his hand over the front of the cover, and then it's very old, and I see someone leaving a facility with it. Oh! And it drops
You
the
okay?
book. God, just a blast of searing pain in my mind is something. This never happened before when I've done this. Either I can't see anything, or it's really vague, but it's never been painful. I wonder if there's something quite intense happened to this in the past, and that's affecting me.
I'm gonna pick the diary up. Just be like, I don't know. I don't know anything about any of this. Do we have any seers here who might be able to tell him something about what would be going on? Or any other clairvoyance or anything who might be able to help him understand what could have happened here? Because this could be, I don't know what this could even be. Could this be some sort of trap to hurt people who attempt to sense this device? I don't know.
You know that there are a number of seers with our Scartians people.
Yeah. Okay, well, don't push yourself on it. We'll find someone. We'll see if we need to get like a group of people together or whatever to find out the history of this. This is important information here, and we need to know where it came from. And if he wrote this, maybe we can find out more about when he was writing it.
An artifact of the ancients may have some protections on it we do not understand.
Well, this is an artifact of the ancients. This is his writing.
No, this is...
Oh, I thought you were saying this was Maximon's.
I found it amongst his belongings, but this is not his. This was written by someone else, someone before us, during the fall, or after the fall.
Okay, we'll need to have the chroniclers take a look at this then. But yeah, it does seem to point towards something. It's a good find. Glad you're able to turn it up. All right. Keep overseeing what you're doing here. I'm going to go back and get together with the other leaders, figure out who is in charge of Maximon's people now.
I intend to speak with Muba once she has calmed down a bit.
No, I'll speak with Muba. Don't worry about that. The best thing we can do right now is for me to bring the other leaders in as close together as possible, to use this as a point of strength between us, so that there is more trust and more association, and I am better able to influence them as they see me as less of an outsider.
Just give you a deep bow. Is there anything you need me to gather for our stores?
We need booze.
I shall flood our airport with alcohol.
All right, I'm gonna walk off with Trace and Albert at that point.
I do
Sorry.
a roll on the shelter, Andy.
So we're gonna do you want to handle some maintenance here? Do some shifts of work. Because if you're not planning to do anything else today, then you could do a shift of work. Let me open up the thing. Shelter. Okay, that's move or scout. Sorry, what are you saying, Lack?
I was gonna say, is it possible for me to do like a sense of motion check on Vinny and see if I could feel like he was holding stuff back from me?
I believe so. Let me double check the skill.
That's a cool idea.
Yep. Ability to read another mutant like an open book. You can roll it when someone tries to manipulate you. You can also use this skill when you want to know an NPC's mood or intent toward you. And so your stunts, for every success you roll, there's questions. One is he telling the truth? Does he want to hurt me, or does he want something from me?
All right. Is there do I get any kind of bonus to that for me, like having known him for years and being like best friends with him?
Definitely. I'm going to give you a +1 on that one. Okay. Sorry, Rim, you said something?
Is it opposed to Vinny's manipulator?
It doesn't list it as an opposed roll. It's used. Damn it!
I think it's almost used as a reaction to manipulate. You might have.
I mean, like, it doesn't seem like it's opposed. It seems like it would be like you manipulate them, and then they can maybe see like, were they trying to get away with something with me? But you're still manipulated, you know. All right, so it looks like I got one success.
Yeah, so if you click the word stunts, it should reveal the questions that you can ask. It does.
Okay. I'll just go with the basics. Is he speaking the truth?
half.
Gray area.
Yeah. Not completely truthful, but there is some element of truth. You feel like
That's
you're
fair.
not getting the full story.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Okay. All right. So what I want to do after that is I want to take Halbert and I want to go find another seer, and I want to sit down and talk with them about this crazy thing that happened to him while he was trying to sense this, and see what they think is a good way to proceed with trying to see what we can find out about it. Like, we have this advantage of having clairvoyance here. Is there a way we can use this safely without putting Albert in danger? So
Do
that's
you,
what I'm looking for someone I can ask those questions to.
do you have the diary with you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
took
said I
it?
picked it up. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see on the ARC members list. Let's see, excursion.
And we can also show it to the chroniclers, see if they know anything about it. So, but I want to go to McKellen first.
Okay,
I trust him most. So,
in the Sentinels, there's no clairvoyant at all.
yeah, but he understands about the ancients and their writings and stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to have him take a look at this and see what he can tell me about it.
Wow. Okay.
And see if if he's ever heard anything about them, like psychically trapping their writings or something like that. Anyway, yeah. So I want to go find McKellen.
All right. Let's take care of let's take care of some maintenance here. So you're going to do a shift of work, Vinny, on the shelter.
Yeah.
So that's move or scout, and then who's here working? Marlot's people are here working with you. I will have them. There's one.
Shame.
Hurt yourself.
Got a mutant point.
And let me do Marlot's people's roll. I'll roll for Marlot, but let's see, was it move or scout? Move is the greater skill, and do that with a +3. A single success out of all that. All right.
Wow.
She's not going to push, but
Darn.
down to 8 successes needed to complete that one. I will let's see. Traps. Let's do Marla has some people working on traps. There she is. Endure or fight. Not as many people working on that. 0 successes. There's only 1 success remaining to complete that one. And then last but not least, the watchtower. No one's working on the arsenal at the moment, at least not with Marlot's people. Door scout. She doesn't have as many people on this one. Just spread thin. 1 success anyway. 1 remains on the watchtower. 1 remains on traps. Alright. That's that. Okay, let's see. We are at the halfway point, so I wonder if you guys wanted to take a break now, then we'll come back and deal with Orson meeting up with McKellen and any further things that Trace and Ran might want to be doing.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, we're back. Yes. So let's see. Kellen, where were you? I can't remember when you left Estrina. Oh, I forget where you were going.
I was going to head to the brig. I'm happy to bump into Orson and Co.
That would make more sense to bump for story development for you to bump into him first. Trace, you've moved your token. Are you staying with them, Trace, or are you going somewhere else? You've moved your token.
Since they're done there and going to be leaving, I'm going to head to Pontiac's garage. I need some repairs and want to bring him the wrench I got for him.
Well, Halbert will stay with Orson. Here, I'll move your token, Orson. Oh, no. Wow. I've got 2 Orsons. Confuse the coding. Maybe it'll sort itself out in a moment. Alright. Well, I'll leave it as it is. In my view, I've got 2 Orsons overlapped, but it's alright.
Weird. No, it's not showing up on mine.
Yeah.
I don't see the one.
That's the recording only shows the one as well. That's alright. It's just me. I can refresh my page, but I'll leave it. Anyway, you get Orson. You get back. I would assume probably you'd go in through the terminal. You know that the Sentinels, the shrine is in the southwest corner of the terminal, or almost the corner anyway.
I think it's the lost and found room.
Yeah, or it was the gift shop. I can't remember.
I think it was the gift shop, yeah.
And and you see McKellen coming out of the passageway from the chroniclers once you're in the terminal.
Okay, so I see him coming out, and I sort of wave at him. It's like, McKellen!
Ah, Orson. I've had the chance to speak to Estrina. There's been all manner of things happening.
Okay, so I'm gonna
lies on a knife's edge.
I'm gonna walk up to you and it's like, let's walk somewhere not out in the open. Just find like an old, a corner or something to duck around. So I've come across this these writings here, and we're trying to find out what we can about them. They are ancient writings. I'm just gonna go ahead and just hand it over to him. What can you tell me about them?
It's now visible to your room. It's under handouts. There's a thing called diary.
Diary. Okay. Certainly, I recognize that's Icon. Why did you get this?
Vinny says he found it in Maximon's belongings.
Vinny was involved in the apprehension of Maximon.
I didn't even ask him about that. I don't know whether he was involved in the actual apprehension or not. Also, don't know if I 100% believe where it came. If I believe where he told me it came from, but that's where he says he got it from.
Well, we know Maximum had fingers in pies with his expedition to the Pure Plant, but yes, I think you're right to be hesitant about it. Let me read through this.
Now, here's the thing. Like Halbert here, I was going to have him use his ability to read objects to see what he could tell me about the history of this thing, see if maybe we could see who wrote it or, what its situation was when it was written. But when he attempted to do that, he had some sort of feedback in his brain, something hurt him, had hurt him. Have you ever heard of that being something that could happen from trying to use a mutation on an ancient writing like this?
Well, your capabilities are quite different from we mutants, Orson. The mutant powers, they're not entirely reliable, so it is possible for all manner of negative feedback to be experienced on use of your powers.
So it may not have anything to do with the object itself. It could have just been having some problems with his powers.
That would be the most likely reason for it, I would say.
Okay. But looking at this, what do you make of it? What do you feel like it's talking about?
Let me think. This is something incredible.
You said you recognized the symbol on it. Where do we know that from?
Mimir. It was a symbol upon the radio tower.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot.
It's also on the Sky Wheel, and you also found it at the Pure Plant.
And yeah, in fact, both the Sky Wheel and the Pure Plant. So Edmund and the humans at the Pure Plant should recognize it as well.
This person says they have to get back to Eden.
I am seeing that. I'm trying to glean anything I can from this.
They say something about a key down here at the bottom, a key card.
Yes, that must refer to this. I'll show us the Eden security keycard. It is one of the things that we need to gain access to one of these control centers, I believe. The message that we heard at the Pure Plant was that anyone possessing a Eden security keycard will proceed to the control center. But this writing, it implies that there was someone at the Ark, or an Ark at least, but are we aware of other Arks out in the zone?
I mean, there's the water plant. I don't know if you would call that an arc or not.
I was kind of asking out a character, just in general. Do we know of any other, settlements of mutants?
The Elder never told you of any. You've only ever known this arc. And it's only been in recent times that anyone from this arc ventured anything further than the surrounding zones. Like an adjacent zone is as far as you would go to find supplies. I mean, the hell, just the island alone, you found plenty of supplies for many years.
These writings, it must be post-Cataclysm. It's talking about zone goals and the zone itself. And it implies that whoever wrote this was in the Ark. And that they returned to Eden.
Or they tried to and died on the way.
I think you had a good instinct in getting Halbert to look at this. I think his powers were playing havoc, possibly an effect of the rot. But once we've had time to have that leave our system, I'd probably ask him to try again.
Yeah, I'm going to go talk to some of the other seers and make sure he doesn't fry his brain or something if he tries it again.
Well, I wouldn't speak to Asgardian's people about this. I worry that the closer that we get to Eden, the more likely they are to get in our way. Their warped religion has every intention of blocking anything that puts humanity in a positive light.
Is that where all the other seers are, is with the Scarshan's people?
So-called seers. Yes.
I don't know that there are any other seers.
I'm looking now. I believe
On
there
the
is.
list there are. There's a couple in discussions. Ken.
Yeah, there's one seer who is unaffiliated. Douglas
Interesting.
is his name.
Well, that's very interesting.
He's adding to his hit list.
Oh no, what's the next plot of Vinny?
We need to find out what we can about this. And also, I think we need to call an assembly or some.
Yeah, we definitely. Oh, that needs to happen. All right. Well, I'm gonna go try to track this down real quick, and yes, go ahead and start talking. Tell them, anyone you can talk to, tell them that Orson is looking to start an assembly, and that he needs to speak to the other leaders. And in fact, you know what? I'm just going to call it. I'm calling an assembly. Tell them that it will be in. I don't know. Give it 2 hours.
All right.
All right, and then I'm going to go off. What did you say this person's name was that we were?
The one who's not affiliated?
Yeah.
His name is Douglas.
All right. Where do we know where Douglas usually stays?
Hold on a second. I'm just
works or whatever.
Looking up his stats. He's a cryo. A lot of the ones not affiliated with a gang live in these warehouses north of Pontiac's garage. There's like those big gray blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of like, the one on the end there is ruins, but there's 3 of them between the terminal and the last one there. But they're kind of open plan on the inside, and they're kind of like tent cities on the inside.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So you don't know exactly because you never really talked to him or met with him, but you can walk through all 3 of those and eventually probably find him unless he's out and about. But
yeah, we'll walk on over there. Like, I want to go ahead and try to get this done, and see if we can locate him or find somebody who knows where he is.
All right.
I'm going to go and speak to Maximum and see if I can find out where he got this document.
Okay. Trace, I haven't had you do anything yet. I haven't tried to neglect you, but you're going to Pontiac's. And you had a gift for him.
Yeah.
And are you... Oh, you are also... Your servos are not in the best of shape. And your armor is not finished, isn't it?
That is correct.
Where did we record your armor? Because we left it as full. But it's
I just kept it on a scrap sheet of paper.
Oh,
I see. I think I'm 3.
You're down to 3, or you're missing 3 points?
Missing 3.
Ah, okay. You're very... All right. You come into Pontiac's garage and you see him and Merrick and Shirley. Merrick and Shirley are all standing over Pontiac's shoulders. And he's messing with some new toy. Toy in quotes. And you can overhear him say, "Oh, just need an evac. All right. I want you 2 to go through everything we have here. And I want you to see if we have an evac that we've missed. I am so eager to try this out. I mean, do you understand? This changes everything." Oh, Trace. My favorite mechanical. Well, my first mechanical friend.
Hello, Pontiac. As promised, I have a gift for you. And I'm going to pull the wrench out of my coat pocket and hand it to him.
He sheaths what he was holding like a pistol on his hip. You've never known him to carry a gun. I don't think he does. Hold on. Could be wrong about that one. No, he does carry a scrap pistol with a triple barrel. But this is a different one. It's on his other hip. You got me a wrench.
I did. We came across a facility with many tools, and since you damaged yours while repairing me, I made sure to bring you a replacement.
You spoil me, Trace. You mechanicals. You always help me out. Well, just a little while ago, Rand was here. And he showed me how to use this. He called it Laser Welder. It fastens things together, but I need an E-Pack. You wouldn't happen to have a spare E-Pack, would you?
Oh, I happen to have 3. I think I could part with one.
He's pounding his chest. Beat! Beat!
So I'm going to rummage around in my jacket pockets and find the E-Packs and pull one of them out, and luckily it's all charged, and hand it off to him.
He's holding it up like it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Holding it up like Gollum held up the ring right before he fell into the Mount Doom. Yes. Oh. And he opens the quote-unquote pistol he put on his hip. He opens that up, slots in the E-Pack, and locks it back up. Yes. Flicks it on. Oh, this changes everything. He's looking at Shirley and Merrick again. So, and then he's... Oh. Trace, you have been through a war, it looks like.
Yes. Our last trip to the zone was very rough. I sustained quite a bit of damage and still have some repairs that are needed.
Well, you have given me a wrench. You have given me an E-Pack. I will give you repair. So, let's see. Let's see. This is... It's gonna to repair you fully because you've got your servos plus your armor. I mean, this is gonna take me some time. Do you have the time, Trace, right now for me to indulge my skills?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, he ain't pushing that, because otherwise he's going to break his wrench again. The new one you just got him. So, your servo is repaired by 1 point. And because he only got 1 success, let's say it took him a little bit of time, so that's a couple hours anyway. Alright, now for your armor. Wow. Well, your armor's fixed. Completely. And it's extra shiny.
Wow.
So you're just down 1 on your servo, and then you're good as new. But for you, I mean, that's going to be the end of the day by the time he's done. Or nearly so, anyway. Well, no, he got extra successes there. I'm going to have him do it in a little bit quicker time there. He got 2 extra successes beyond what he needed. So we'll let that happen within a couple hours. Well, so 4 hours total of your time. Okay, Ran, what's going on with you? You've left Pontiac's.
I'm just gonna start heading towards the plains, like
Okay.
specifically the one we normally like sleep in. Well, in quotes, sleep in.
Yeah, for you. I need you to make a roll. Let's see.
Oh shit.
Scout. So that's scan for you.
Oh yes.
You have a decent scan roll skill. Program.
Not bad. But I failed.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
You got 1.
yeah, I did see that one.
As you were leaving Pontiac, so you're walking around. Hold on. You're walking around the southern edge, along the railing, the monorail, and there's a way through up into here. You notice. I'll drag tokens out so you can see the pictures. They'll be gigantic, but I'll. Damn it. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, that's what I thought. These 2. And you notice them watching you, and as you pass, they're trying to be subtle, but you've picked up on it. Because as you pass, around the terminal and out of their sight, basically going on the other side of the gate walkway here. That's this long white strip. They're moving so that they keep you in eyesight. Now, these were the 2 that were watching
me when I first arrived.
Yeah, watching you and Trace when you first arrived. But they're trying to stay, in their mind, they have no idea you've noticed them move to follow you. They're not following close, they're just trying to keep where they can see you. And then you make it to, so you're going to the plane that the Kodiaks are in. So you make it to that plane. Are you going inside or are you staying outside? What's going on with you?
I'm gonna go inside in case they decide to follow me.
Okay. Inside you find Edmund, I'll drag his token out because I don't know if I did before. Edmund and Katinka, who's there. So Edmund is the one who restored your memory core. His voice synthesizer was damaged, so he has a monotone robotic voice. Katinka has a very pleasant female voice. They are in the cockpit still. That's usually where the mechanicals, as you've come to learn with Trace, that's where the mechanicals go to quote unquote sleep. And they are locked in, connected via network.
Right.
And a communication. They don't, at least at first, they don't look up to notice you. That is, you see them in the cockpit. Now, whether you go in the cockpit or not, I don't know, that's up to you. But
I'm just gonna stay on the inside and wait about like a couple of minutes to see if those 2 follow me, and kind of like I'm gonna like sit down sort of to like kind of look like I'm like down, like power down of sorts.
Are you going to? So what there is. So there's the covered gate. Um, when you board a plane, you walk right out to the plane on a covered area. That's destroyed through time. So what is there is one of those sort of stairs that are on wheels, sort of thing that can be pushed up, and that's there permanently. And so are you wanting to keep an eye on these two? So you could be sat there at the top of that stair or just inside the door?
Well, because I assume I've seen that Edmund and
Can take it, yeah. Just as soon as you go in the door, you can see that they're just glancing. I mean, they're just, because it's just around the corner of the door to the cockpit, and it's open.
Can I make it look like I've just ran out of power just before I got inside of the thing?
Yeah.
I want to do that because if they're watching me and I assume they can see me.
Oh, yeah. Or Katinka and Edmund, or the two that were following?
The two that are following.
Oh, yeah. They are,
Yep.
So, again, the resolution of this map, I can't really zoom in well enough, but they are, so the gate walkway, this white strip here. So,
Yeah.
as soon as they have walked onto the north side of it to where they can see the plane, they're staying there under the cover of that walkway, trying to look like they're just people watching, but they're quote unquote people watching, has their eyes more commonly going up to the top of those stairs to that plane. And yes, you can easily go up there and just suddenly, shoulders slouch, head bowed down, slightly upturned so that your eyes can still make visual contact.
Yeah.
Do you sit like in a crouching position, like you're fully shut down, or do you stay standing?
I'm gonna crouch.
Okay. You notice them, the woman, lean over. When you do that, she leans over and says something into the other's ear, the man's ear. And when she does that, he looks up at you. And you see him shrug his shoulders. But they stay right there. And a few minutes later, he says something to her. And then you see him walk. So there's this, again, I'll try to show this. In the center of my circle here is, damn it, not there. My mouse is jumpy. It's a building that's separate from the terminal, so that you can walk between it. That dark area between it and the terminal is all open. There's a covered walkway here that's on the second story, so that you can walk underneath it. But you see the man walk down here, and then when he gets down to the end of this hangar, he turns north, so he's behind it, out of your sight. So he's walking around, you assume, to the front of this hangar. And in your mind, trying to get a different vantage point to keep an eye on you. She stays there.
I'm gonna remain looking like I've just like died pretty much.
Now, the fact that they think that you're shut down, she's more brave at turning her head to look at you, and has kind of given up the people watching, mostly. But you can see her looking off towards the corner, what would be the northwest corner of that hangar. And you assume she's looking for him to appear. Now, for where you're at, you can't see back to where he would be. But you do notice her face, and you can tell by what she's doing that he's there, and she's kind of mouthing the words. I'm going to make a roll for that one. What would the roll be?
Oh, yeah,
I'm thinking data mine, but that's more for devices. That's not quite right. Scan, yes. Callum, you alive? Earth to Callum.
Sorry?
Yeah, and you need to make a scan roll.
Oh, I thought you meaning them.
No. No, I'm seeing if you can read her lips.
Oh,
Nope,
hell
you
no.
cannot unless you want to push it. You run the risk of damage yourself, though.
No, thank you. Just fix himself.
All right, but she said 2 words
Get it.
and kind of raised her shoulders in like a question. And then she nods. It stays right there. And then a minute or 2 later, she leaves and goes back south. So you can't see her anymore. She's on the other side of the gateway corridor.
I want to be listening out for any footsteps that are coming from any angle.
Okay. I need to... I'll make it public. You guys are good at not metagaming. Although, I don't know if it'll come up as Game Master or the name of this character, who you don't even know. Came up as Game Master. So you need to make a scan roll and get that many successes.
Oh, fuck hell. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. You do have more dice than him. Look at you. You hear footsteps coming from under the plane. So from the back side of it, so the north side of it. So it's at an angle facing this way. So coming from this direction. And you can hear them come all the way up to the base of those stairs. Pause. And they get a little bit more daring. And you could just see his face poking up.
Oh, them naughty little boys.
Looking at you. And he quickly ducks back. Now, there happens to, all the Kodiaks are out busy or they're inside, so you're the only one here. It's actually a lot of the Kodiaks, there's only a few of them on the inside, just kind of chilling out.
Would the meeting with Orson be happening right now? Like the what's it called?
Assembly.
That's it.
You would have heard it called.
Okay.
You know by now that the culture here, that there's a lot of pounding and a bell, metal on metal. I call it a bell. It's not really a bell, but it's basically a piece of scrap that resonates when hit with something metal. So that's effectively a bell. But you know that that is hit when there is an assembly. But it's not uncommon. You know that there's a lot of projects going on, and so they could be out working on those. You also know that Had they assembled? Yeah, they assembled the army before you guys had gone out. So you know that there's army patrols and army drills going on that sometimes the Kodiaks might do their share and take part of.
Also, I'd said to give it a couple hours before they called it too, because I wanted to get this other thing taken care of.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to pause on that story there with you, Rand, just for a moment, and we'll come back to that one. I'll leave those 2 tokens out, though. Let's go to Orson there. Vinny, I haven't forgotten you. It's just that you're doing a shift of work, so that's why I've dealt with these others at the moment.
You're good.
But I won't have a shift last an entire day, so definitely once the assembly is called, your shift will be done. And that's...
Yeah, I mean, I would have actually said, to call it for the end of the work day would be the best. So assume that's 2 hours from now, whenever. But, whatever. I don't want to interrupt everybody's work, but we do need to get this assembly taken care of.
All right. So you are going to... Oh, you're trying to find Douglas. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to make you make a roll for this one. It just takes you a little bit of time, but you do find him. He sat in quiet meditation. And he sat...
So,
I'm going to let it be just as your picture shows, except...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost just like that. Except he's in a building instead of outside, but still, it's a good view of him. Fact is,
all right.
I'll use that picture for his token. Actually, I just take his face out of that. It's a good shot. Anyway, so he doesn't necessarily notice you coming up because he's kind of he's zoning out everyone. Sorry, I keep talking the same as you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just in case this guy shows up later, I figured it'd be a good idea to go ahead and establish a picture for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna download this picture now.
But so I'm just gonna mosey up toward him, and I'm sure I tend to draw people's attention. A big the old bear walking up toward him, so I'll just let him take notice of me by the fact that Orson is walking up toward him. And when I get to him, I'm just gonna ask him if I can sit down with him.
He looks up rather calmly, and then he sees that it's you, and his eyes get a little bit bigger. Oh. Orson.
Yeah, do you mind if I sit down with you?
He looks a little bit confused as to... Well, yeah, I'd heard you returned, but...
We haven't had the chance to talk before.
No.
Don't be afraid of anything. I don't have any problems with you. I just wanted to ask you about something.
Okay.
I understand you're a seer. You can see visions or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is my friend Halbert here. He also has visions. His come from his mutation. But he had something strange happen to him, and I was wondering if you might know something about it.
What happened?
He was looking at a document, an old document, and when he attempted to use his ability to learn the history of it, to see into the past, he had some sort of pain in his head, like something he had some sort of feedback, or maybe it was just maybe it was just his powers being hard to control. We don't know. I'm wanting him to try to learn about this object, but I'm also worried that he could get hurt doing it. Do you know anything about what could be happening to him when he's dealing with this? Have you ever heard of anything like this before?
Similar things. These abilities that we have, they sometimes come at a cost. Sometimes the visions I have had, sometimes they leave me very emotionally disturbed. But I've had some moments to where, I guess you would call it pain. It's more of just like a storm of information sometimes that almost seems like pain. But it doesn't happen all the time. I've heard others, some I've talked with, there's many who come to me with, people come to me for advice quite often, actually. But I wouldn't necessarily worry about it. Like, I wouldn't think it would be like if he were to try it again. I don't know that it would actually happen again. I can't imagine. Yes?
I was just saying, if he were to do it again here now in front of you, do you think you would be able to sense if anything did happen, maybe what was going on?
If you have a little bit of time, I could try to have a vision about it, but it does take some time for the vision to come on.
How much time? We're at the end of work shift today. We're going to be having a gathering.
Maybe an hour?
How much time do we have?
You got 2.
Okay, yeah, okay, I can wait.
All right. One moment, and he goes into his tent, and he comes out with a bowl and some herbs. And he puts a concoction of herbs into this bowl, and he lights them. And the smoke from it, he passes it around Halbert, and then he puts it underneath him, and the smoke kind of envelops his head. And no, it's not cannabis or anything like that. And then he sets the bowl beside him, and he just sits down with his eyes closed. And I did not make stats for him, but I can. 1 second. Come on, clicking me. All right. Empathy. My visions are vague. However, I feel like what he encountered was not in fact tied to the artifact or its past, but was just a moment. I feel like for him to do it again, it is unlikely the same thing will happen.
Well, thank you. All right. We'll take care of that. It was good of you to help us. I'm going to reach in and I'm going to give him 2 bullets. It's payment for using his ability. And
thank you.
You have provided us a service. If you ever need aid of the Kodiaks, don't be shy of seeking us out. We appreciate the gifts that you have.
Thank you very much. I will consider that. Good luck, Halbert.
Actually, I'm just going to look at him. It's like, does he have a weapon or anything?
He does not. Well, he has a scrap knife.
Scrap knife? Okay.
What are Douglas's mutations?
He's a cryo.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Okay, cool.
Okay, well, as long as he's not unarmed, I didn't want this guy to be just sitting around unable to protect himself. So, all right,
Now he can freeze your ass in a heartbeat.
yeah, all right, and we'll get on out of there and just go somewhere a little bit of ways and like, all right, Albert, let's try this again and see what happens. The seer says you should be safe.
Okay. Are you sure? That really hurt.
I don't know. I mean, I'm no seer, but I've known seers, and usually their visions are trustworthy.
Alright, I'm gonna select Halbert elsewhere because I still have the double Orson token and it's covering up Halbert. Alright, Halbert, there we go. So, only cost him 1 MP. Alright, I need to open up this diary again to get more refresh my memory on it. Okay. Alright. I need to go to a different map for just a moment. Big smoke.
He needs to roll backfire too.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, thank you. Sorry, what'd you say, Room?
Oh, same thing.
Oh, yeah. Let me do that before because this may not work, and so I don't need to get information out if it's not working.
I totally messed up. I should have mind terrored him, just broken him with more visions. Wait.
That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, it's because I couldn't see this. It wasn't giving me a pop-up. No, it's fine. Alright. Where'd it go? So, Halbert grabs the diary and he doesn't buckle over in pain. You see his brow furrow. His eyes are closed, his brow furrows, and he's running his hand just in a circle, just passing it over the top of the book, touching the book. It says, does he know what's inside of it? Was it read aloud in front of him?
No, I never had him. I never read it out in front of him. I just had him hold the book. Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep. When I first gave it to you, I read it out loud in front of him.
So, if I remember right, Vinny said that the writer of this had to leave the Ark.
Was it?
And
I
could see.
Okay, go ahead.
In my vision, I could see leaving an encampment of mutants, but it wasn't here. It wasn't the runway. It was somewhere else. And
could you tell me anything about this somewhere else that you saw?
It was quite vague. It was a building, a large kind of ruined building. When he left it, there was large piles of rubble and debris, so it made it look as if the building was derelict and unoccupied. I think it was their defense mechanism. You know, like how we have the island and the water keeps us safe, and for them, they don't have the water. And Orson, there's other arcs. There's other arcs. We're not the only one.
That's big news. Okay.
But
do we have any idea how far away this was, or?
I don't know where it was, but the last vision I saw, he was on the island of the Pure Plant.
Really? So when he left, he made it to the Pure Plant.
Yes. And that is where this book was. And the next thing I saw was Vinny. That was the only clear face I saw. I did not see the face. Maybe it's because I was talking to Vinny when he was telling me about the story. Maybe that's why it was in my head. I saw Vinny holding the book, and he did hold the book. He gave it to us. I didn't see it in conjunction other than that, just him holding the book.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it didn't hurt you this time. Let's we have a gathering to get to, though. We'd better get moving.
I used to see him muttering, "Other arcs, more like us." Orson, we have to find them. We're not alone. And he's just quiet and stunned, thinking of this. Okay. Lead the way, Orson.
Yeah. Orson's just kind of letting him have his moment. Like, Orson's been out in the world. Like, he's seen, other groups of people. It kind of makes sense that there's maybe other groups of survivors out there that banded together and made arcs, but yeah, it is news to know there might be another one nearby.
Let's see who. Trace is getting repaired. Actually, this is going to coincide. Trace will be done being repaired by the time of assembly. Vinny will be done with his work shift by the time of assembly. I need to go back to Rand then briefly before. Oh, wait a minute, McKellen.
Yeah.
McKellen, what are you were going to speak with Maximon? I didn't deal with that one.
Yeah. Take care of Rand and McKellen. Sounds like my baby bomb just went off, so figure out what's going on with him.
Yeah. We've got about an hour left to play. Okay. Hopefully we get to my cliffhanger that I like to do at the end of every episode. We'll see. I don't want to force the story. Right. Let's go to McKellen because I've been to Rand recently. So you are headed into the brig, which is in the... I'm on the wrong map. It's on the runway map.
I think it's near the tower.
It is. It's in the north. It's in the northeast corner. It's at the base of that tower. It's on the ground floor. There are 3 rooms that are commonly used as lockable rooms for people, but not much more than that. Sturdy doors with mechanical locks that have been fashioned. The electronic, obviously there's no electricity in this place, so all the electronics locks and such are, of course, no longer functioning. And you go into, so there's a door that goes into that area. And that, I don't know if you can see from the terminal building here, but I'm not going to be able to show you with this, but there's, like, you can see a rectangle.
Yeah.
and that the tower's in the northeast corner of it. That rectangle kind of indicates, not perfectly, but there's walls there. Again, now that my busy period is over, hopefully I can get back to finishing off this map. Keep describing it to you, but anyway, it kind of indicates that. So there's a door on the south side of it, and then that leads into like an area that has these 3 rooms off of it, and then this spiral staircase that goes up, the one that you climbed and ran out of breath.
Yeah.
And you go inside this door and you see Muba standing beside the second room away from the entry area to your right. And she is stood like a statue, really. 2 of her arms folded, and her other 2 are, she's got one of her machetes out, and she's holding, one side of the blade on the hilt, and then she's resting the blade in the palm of her hand. She doesn't even look up at you.
Hello, Mover.
There are you can tell that there are people just up the stairs. There's a landing. There's the top tower, and then there's a floor in between it, which is where you met Maximon to discuss things. You can tell that there's some talking going on up there, but kind of murmuring, really. Kind of like, what's she doing? And so you're kind of alone here with Muba.
Hello, Mover. I've spoken with Estrina, and she's given me permission to speak to Maximon.
Why?
Because I've been away, and I want to get to the heart of this whole mess. What can you tell me about it? You're close to Maximon.
I was close out of duty. But he violated the Elder's wishes. Killed one of our own, 2 of our own. But I reserve judgment for the council.
Yes, it sounds like the judgment's going to be quite a deliberation.
I will follow what the council says. We must answer for our actions.
True enough. Now, if you do not mind, will you let me through?
Right. Okay. One movement from him towards you. You shout, I come. No one else is dying on my watch.
Thank you.
You have not come here for revenge.
I have no reason for revenge, Maximon.
You're a good man,
I just want to
McKellen.
understand what's happening.
She turns one of her arms. She goes, unlocks the door. Doesn't even look in. Well, she looks in briefly to see if he's clear of the door, but doesn't make eye contact with him. And opens the door and steps aside so that you can go in.
I'll head in.
You see, and then the door shuts behind you. You don't hear the lock latch. Maximon is sat on the floor with his knees up, elbows resting on his knees and his head resting in his hands, looking down.
Wasn't so long ago that I was incarcerated here, and now here I find you. The last place I'd expect to find you.
He slowly raises his head. How the tables have turned.
It certainly seems that way.
You're the first visitor I've had. Perhaps the only visitor I'll have.
Well, if Muba is to be a guideline, it seems like everyone thinks rather differently of you now, Maximum.
That's an understatement. Muba, ever dutiful to the Ark. Can't say I blame her.
They say you killed 2 of your own men.
I did.
Were you of your right mind?
It's a fit of rage. I don't take kindly to a knife in the back. And I had quite a knife in my back. Sixter was my brother.
What changed that? What treachery are you speaking about?
Leading a faction against me. Stealing supplies. A coup attempt. I don't know if you recall when we were young how he used to get picked on. And I defended him. I could see that he was clever. And I stopped that from happening. He stopped being bullied, beaten up. But I guess he got a little bit too bold. I don't know, ever since the Elder got ill, I just felt I should keep us all going. And many looked up to me. But not everyone liked that.
You needed to keep us all going, Maximum. That's what I told you at that assembly when things nearly fell apart the last time. That everything was on thin ice. And now that ice is shattered. Are you sure that Sixter betrayed you?
The evidence was clear.
How do you know?
We found the supplies in his quarters. He tried to hide it.
When you say we, who found them?
I did.
Right.
I'm pretty sure if I remember that correctly. It's been a couple sessions ago.
Yeah, no worries.
And Ricky was part of it. And Julia. I nearly killed her too, but something happened and I missed. It's weird. I was at close range. I don't know what happened, but my aim was off. And that's when I ran. And there you have it. So the council will do with me as they will. Banishment, execution, lifetime imprisonment.
It certainly doesn't look good. And I'm very saddened to hear that things occurred as I've been told. So rash.
I just got wound up. The stress, the threat of the Hell Riders. Getting used to mechanicals living amongst us.
The mechanicals have been nothing but an aid to us.
They were also... Well,
And speaking of aiding us, a journal was found in your possession.
Journal?
It bears an insignia linked to the ancients. Mimir. Writings of someone who left this ark at some point.
What?
Left in order to find Eden. Where did you get this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to use telepathy. 2 points for is he lying and what is he thinking right now? Oh wait, wrong one.
Yeah, you just gotta roll straight 6-sider first. Well, 2 6-siders, but yeah, you got it. Excuse me. What he's thinking right now, he has really no idea what you're talking about. Doesn't know of any journal. And the words Mimir mean nothing to him. A word, not words. And he just looks at you really confused. Who told you that? Where does this come from?
It seems there is at least something muddy about this situation. This is what Vinny told me. Well, Virus.
Why would he say... You know, I don't trust Vinny.
I have my own problems with him.
I don't understand the motivation here. What difference does it make whether I have... I don't really understand this. I really don't.
Well, it puts you in a bad light to be withholding such a thing. But I can see from your mind, which I've just gazed upon, and you have no clue what I'm talking about.
If this journal diary is brought up at the tribunal, can I count on you to tell them that I know nothing of it?
I can give testimony on that.
I'm not
But
really
you
sure.
killed who you killed.
Yeah, that is a fact, and that's the bigger of the crimes. That's the lot of it.
Well, I've asked you what I needed to ask, and there'll be an assembly soon. As I say, I will speak on your behalf in regards to this journal.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by, McAllen.
Would that it was under better circumstances.
As do I.
Tried to get some rest. And I'll leave for assembly.
All right. Ran. Jumping back to you right before assembly.
See.
So, did you just say C?
Yes.
Okay. um, you notice that the woman has come back. This is about 20 minutes later. And she's in the same spot that she was. And you can see her, she is kind of not trying to make bold gestures, but kind of I wish if we were in person, if we had on cameras, I could demonstrate it, but she's kind of basically motioning for someone in your direction, but she's looking below you to go back frantically, you know, pointing, you know, gesturing away, but try not to be too obvious of people around her. But you notice it. And then shortly after that, you hear the footsteps down below you go back to the northeast.
Okay. I'm going to continue to be stagnant,
Okay.
but keep eyes, I guess.
She lingers. And eventually he comes back the way that he left and joins her. And you see them go, there's a doorway there that goes up into the gate corridor. That's that long white stripe, which has lots of windows in it. And you see them go up those stairs. Eventually you see them through the windows and they walk west. And then they walk out of eyesight. But you know that they're in that corridor.
I'm gonna boot myself back up, and I'm gonna somewhat wander over there.
So you're gonna casually wander.
I'm gonna have a wander and a ponder over in that direction.
Oh, like walking out. Where's my mouse? Walking out along here, like towards the plains, or walking in the direction of that corridor as to go in it.
To go in it.
Oh, okay. It doesn't take you long to get to it, and you get to, you come up the stairs. There's a couple people who are just sat there at the top of the stairs, just chatting. This is a place people don't live on this because it's just a corridor, but people do hang out here sometimes because it's covered and you get good eyesight. It's actually a good watch area for security because all the windows you can watch the northern approach. But you see those two, and I want to see if they notice you. I'm gonna. I may make you make a sneak roll, but sneak roll. But let me. Damn.
Jesus.
Hold on, what is?
Lord have mercy.
And then rolling for her. She blind. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make you make infiltrate. I think is this. Kill. Where the... It's
I've got
infiltrate.
3 guys for this.
You're what? Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh dear.
I'm not exactly trying to be stealthy. I'm kind of just wandering and pondering around. Trying to creep him out, I guess.
If he'd only, because he's not actually looking for you, but if he'd only gotten 2 successes, I wouldn't have this happen. But he just happens to look over his shoulder and jumps when he sees you. Says something to her, and they pick up the pace, almost to a run. You know, at the far, well, there's a few spots throughout where they could leave it. But at the far end of it, you know that there are stairs down.
Okay. Is there any way, like, to cut them off, maybe?
You could exit halfway down. You can, if you look on the map, you can barely see the remnants of, on the north edge of it, these little white lines sticking out. Those are the remains of loading or boarding ramps. But they're basically a hole in the wall, and you could easily climb down. And then you could run and meet them at the far end before they get down.
What if I use my accelerator?
Oh, I forgot you had this. Let me what does that do? Where you at?
Increases you have modifications that will you add to an incredible speed.
I forgot you had this. You could move like a T-1000.
Each movement, move with extreme speed. Each maneuver you spend on movement is counted as 2 maneuvers.
Oh my god, you could be waiting for them at the bottom of the stairs with 1 energy point expenditure. You want to do that?
Absolutely. Question my motives.
Alright. Go ahead and subtract your EP. And there's no roll for robots to see if a misfire. And how do you want to be positioned at the bottom of those stairs?
So when you say stairs, is it like...
It's a spiral stair.
Ooh. I just so you know the Terminator stance, just like stood still, just like yeah. I just want to be like that, and just looking at the door as they come through. I guess if there's a door.
Okay, let me better describe it. So it's a long walkway that's suspended above. It's like on the 2nd story, and there are obviously support pillars that hold it up, but at the end of it and the beginning of it is a ground story sort of room, basically. So there's a door that goes into it, and it just goes into an area where there's stairs up. You know also that this gate wing connects to the 2nd story of the terminal, so you could walk straight from the terminal into it, but that's on the east side. They're going down the west side. So at the base on the west side is a room that is just the stairs coming down and then a door. So you could be standing right outside that door for when they open it.
On the stairs, I take. Is there like beams on top, like that I could possibly either sit or crouch on top of?
Oh, like inside the building, the little.
Yeah. Just so,
Oh,
like just where the door is slash where the stairs are, because I know there's like supporting beams maybe.
let's see. I haven't designed that part yet. Let me think. Well, it's a spiral stair. It's kind of. It's more like a support stair down here because this is more for maintenance personnel and back in the day. Sorry. So it'd be kind of unfinished down here. Yeah, there'd be a place you could crouch, probably right above the doorway that would go outside, which would look right down onto the stairwell as they come down. Quite intimidating and menacing, actually. You can be right there if you wish.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh dear, this is going to be grand. So you hear footsteps, and they're moving kind of fast. And as soon as they hit the stairs, they pick up the pace. And they come down and in complete shock. And the look on their face. I mean, he's wearing goggles, and so is she. And he's got a face mask. But you can tell just from the movement of his mouth. His mouth is wide open, and so is hers. And they both collapse, like trip back onto the stairs, and an audible oh and they're just stunned at this robot who they thought was inactive, and then they saw you activate and they're following them. Tables turned, and they are scrambling, trying to, on hands and knees, trying to scramble up the stairs and tripping over each other, and they're not getting anywhere. Do you have an action, or you just want to sit there and watch them squirm?
I just want to sit there and watch them squirm.
Oh dear, do you... there's no equivalent ability. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to see if there's a relevant skill of yours that... Target is your program, but that's not really relevant for this. I don't believe. Let me double check. There's nothing in that program that is... my mouse is being really weird today. Machine components, programs, target. I think this just aids in your shooting. No, okay. I'm just trying to look for something for intimidate, but this is a natural intimidation. Oh my god, the saw the meme you just put in there. Oh dear, Cal, you need to check it out in the chat.
Yeah.
They are fighting. You can tell like they've banged elbows, hurt each other a little bit, and they race to the top of the stairs, and you can hear them run rapidly down it towards the east. If a robot could laugh, you probably would be. You do find it quite amusing that just your presence has caused such an extreme reaction into some organics. And you feel like that may have put an end, or at least a big pause, on their spying of you. Well played. And at that point, the banging. You hear the banging. Call to assembly. All of you do. And with as much as people are in, what's the word? I don't know. Panicked or disarray, nervous, apprehensive, some sense of order is welcome, and people are quick to get to assembly hall. Sorry, arrivals hall. And those of you who are out and about, you see people moving quicker than normal. I mean, people don't tarry too long when there's an assembly called because it's been a part of your culture since birth. But this is filling up quicker. Do you all make your way there? You're all finished with your endeavors, so Trace, you are done being repaired. Rand, you've just terrified 2 mutants. Orson, you and Halbert are done with your meeting with Douglas. And Vinny, you've just finished your day's shift of work and have just made it close to the terminal building.
Yeah, since I'm done, I'm gonna think Pontiac and head over to the hall.
I'm certainly on the way.
Okay, so this meeting is being called by Orson, is that correct? I understand this? Or was it instructions from Orson to be called by, like, Estrina or something? I can't remember that part. Lax on mute, so I wonder if he's dealing with baby right now. Does anyone
I
else
kind of
remember?
felt like he told somebody to give him a few hours to find Douglas before they called the meeting. Or maybe call it on his behalf.
Yeah, I think it's being called in Orson's name.
So Orson would be leading the start of it. All right.
Would I know any of the seers? Like Vinny would know if any of the other mutants do have visions, whether it's Douglas or someone else, and we seek them out.
You would know, especially being a seer now yourself, you'd want to know this. You would know that there's only 6 other seers besides Ascarshan, and they're all part of the Sentinels. If you have access to the Runaway Arc members, you would know that. But Douglas is the only seer he's the only other seer on the Arc. I'm looking now. Yeah,
he does actually has visions.
Yeah, he's the only other one.
I would try to find him during the mass move towards assembly. I think Orson had talked about finding someone else to learn about the journal in front of me right before he left too.
He did, but you didn't know if he
worrying Vinny.
I don't know if it was indication that he would be looking at the Sentinels, or would you assume that he'd be going to the Sentinels and completely not be able to clock oh yeah, Douglas. I'll let that be a player choice there.
If Vinny knows that only one other person has visions, that's who he would try to find.
Yeah, there's a total of,
as far as he knows, there's only the 2 of them.
No, there's 6 seers who have visions within the Sentinels.
Oh, that is what you meant.
Yeah,
I didn't know what you meant after you said that then about Douglas.
No, there's 6 of them and Ascarshan. So there's only 9 of you in the entire arc, and that includes yourself.
I would go find the one who I know to be the weakest willed and the least likely to actually go to the assembly, or at least very quickly move there. Maybe their lowest ranking member of the Seers who has visions.
Okay. Well,
if you relink me, I just don't have that link anymore of the names of our.
Oh, you don't? Here, let me put it in the chat.
Well, it's not saved.
I'll put it under Mutant Year Zero resources.
I wonder if it's already in there somewhere.
It probably is, but it's probably way up high. There you go.
I just found it. Yep. Didn't even think about that. Okay.
I didn't either until you went to put it in there. I thought, wait a minute, that's probably where we put it.
It's actually pinned.
Oh
If
my
you click on the
God!
pin.
Of course it's pinned.
But we always do the smart thing and then forget.
And then we realized that we put things in place to make it easy for us, which we promptly forget. Look at that briefly. I know it's near time for end, but I'm going to do a quick bio while we wait for Lack, because we kind of need him for the assembly. I'll be right back.
Another four-armed person. It has a bunch of Escartian members as chroniclers also.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Instead
some
of their
non-
actual
I'm back.
class. Is chronicler a class or?
It is.
Okay.
Did Lack put be right back?
So
or
I would.
anything?
I'm here. I had to mute for a minute. The baby was being noisy.
I figured it was baby related, but all right. I don't know if you heard, but the assembly has been called, and I kind of needed you because you're leading it.
Yeah.
So
All right. So I'm banging my way there and leading the Kodiaks on in.
Estrina,
When it's called, I go.
go ahead.
Yeah, I would go to the shrine and see if any of those people I know to have visions stay behind.
You see that. Let me pick one here. Josephine doesn't necessarily stay behind, but she is the last to leave. On her way out of there.
I think I would maybe try to sneak and get her attention, but like not anyone else see this happen. Like bump into her or something, you know, but make it really subtle. I have 2 dice. Crap.
Are you rolling something?
Yeah,
Sorry, what?
If that. We go. Oh my gosh, I did it. You know what? We're gonna push it because I. Okay, there we go. Wow, 2 dice, a 1 and a 6. But that's exactly what I wanted because I got a mutation point. So I wanted to like slow her down so I kind of separate from the crowd, or even just like when I bump into her, make eye contact with her and use puppeteer.
Oh my God, what are you planning now?
So, because I have to have eye contact, so I get really close to her. I have to roll a backfire. Oh my gosh, I got one. Let's see. New mutation. Fuck, man. Twice the amount. All right, that's not the end of the world. Kind of just got it back after the push, basically. So up
And
to her next action to go off somewhere nearby in an alley where no one else is around, like while everyone else is leaving for the assembly, and then like, meet her in there.
Okay. And she will obey. In Assembly Hall, then. Estrina is in the center, so is Marlot. Muba is not, of course. Normally she is right there by Maximon's side, but it is her duty to protect. Skarshin is there in the center. And Estrina comes up to you, Orson.
Okay.
If anyone can help bring stability right now, she says this quietly, it is you.
That is my intention. All right. So, is everybody in place now?
They are. And she steps away from you, and so does Marlot does shortly after, to give you the floor.
All right. So I'm gonna stand up and raise my paws and call for silence.
People,
There has been much that has happened while I was away. There's been great tragedy here, great progress, and great tragedy. Look around us. We are preparing for a threat that we will all have to face. And we're doing it together. An outside threat that's bringing us. We're exploring and bringing in new allies, new technology, making ourselves a better home here. We will survive and we will thrive. But there has been too much backbiting, too much scheming, too much distrust between those of our factions that live here. People begin to look over their shoulders. They get paranoid. Maximon, I do not believe anyone was plotting against Maximon. I've seen Maximon's people working together alongside the rest of the Ark to prepare, to stand together as one. But there's been so much distrust that Maximon, it got the better of him, and he turned on his own people. And perhaps there's more. We need to have a trial. We can use this gathering to decide the fate of Maximon. We can do it here as a group and decide what we will do. But what we cannot do is to believe the madness that he was spewing, the things that led him to do what he did. His people will need a new leader. We can't trust him anymore. We are lucky to have someone here who already fits the bill, someone who has stood beside her people, who has watched over them and protected their leadership the entire time. We all know who is the logical choice to step up and assume command, and I fully support her. And I will do what I can to have her guide her people alongside the rest of us. Let's form a closer bond and not separate ourselves into smaller groups. So there are decisions to be made. We have to decide what to do with Maximon. His people need to decide who their new leader is. And we need to take stock of the discoveries that have been made and how we are going to progress forward. So, what shall we do first? I say first, let's decide what to do with Maximon. But we've never had to do this before. We've never had to have a trial. So how are we going to resolve this? This is our chance. We are all here together. Who wishes to provide evidence for him? Who wishes to provide evidence against him? We will all hear it, and we will all decide whether he is guilty of what he is accused of or not. If he is guilty, then we will decide what to do with him. Does anyone disagree with this?
No. You hear lots of shaking of heads.
Then first, let's hear the accusations against him.
Strina. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Who wishes to speak? Who wishes to accuse him?
Strina steps forward. Well, the actions that led to it, I was not witness to. So I cannot speak for those other than secondhand knowledge. Was there a coup attempt by Sexter? Was Ricky in league with this? That is secondhand knowledge to me.
Before we proceed, Estrina, I would advise that the accused has a right to hear all this. Maximon should be brought forth.
Of course.
That sounds fair to me. Again, I turn to everyone here. Who is in favor of bringing him here?
There's a bit of reluctance, but then there is acceptance. Marla.
All right. He cannot be interrupting everything anyone says, though. He will get he will give him a chance to speak for himself, but he can't just turn this into a madhouse by constantly speaking when other people are trying to talk. Make sure he understands that.
Marla shakes her head. She speaks to two of her people, and they run off towards the terminal. Well, towards the northeast corner where the brig is. A couple minutes later, Maximon is there being led with Moba with two of her arms firmly on his shoulder. The other two are not far from machetes on her hips. And he stood out in the middle. And he didn't speak. But he looks up at everyone. There's a bit of applause, mostly banging of, weapons and things on railings and things. But there's quite a bit of booze. I don't mean drink, but I mean people booing. There's a lot of booze. It's a party. And Marla holds her hands up and spins around and faces everyone, and they calm down. Looks to Estrina. Estrina continues, as I was saying, I was witness to Maximon first accusing Sixter and Ricky and Julia. I tried to persuade him not to make a rash decision. I was witness to him leading them outside by the runway and shooting with Sixter's shotgun and killing Sixter and Ricky and attempting to kill Julia, but his aim was off. And then he ran away.
Through the crowd. Is Julia in the crowd?
She is.
Okay.
And a lot of eyes go towards her. Serena says, "That is what I witnessed. Any evidence of a coup attempt, I don't have first-hand knowledge." And then she steps back. Skarshin steps forward. "I too can confirm exactly and only what Estrina has said. I witnessed the same events and nothing more." And then he steps back, both arms resting on his staff as he leans on it.
I think it would be right to ascertain whether or not these accusations that led to the executions are true or not. Julia, as the surviving accused, what do you say to these charges?
Unicorn, you're going to have to remind me. That was a few sessions ago. Did you puppeteer her or mind terror her? I can't remember.
No, but
I should have wrote all this down.
I broke her, manipulated her into admitting that she was working for Sixter to steal from Maximon.
Oh God, is she going to be able to keep her cool? Oh dear, hold on. You guys put me in this position all the time. These are big things here. Hold on. I'll have to make a roll. I'm not going to make a decision. She's terrified of Vinny. And is she part of the Kodiaks?
I think she's unaffiliated.
She is now.
All right, that's going to affect it. I know how this will play out. All right. So she was led by Sixter, is what you had her say?
Yeah, I had broken her and then manipulated her to everything I had ever done to her. She claims Sixter did.
She, with 2 successes, she manages to keep a fairly straight face, but there is pressure. Sixter did guide me, and I did take much from Maximum stores. I don't know the full extent of what was going on, but I know that I did have a hand, and if I'm to be punished for it, I will accept my punishment.
And I want to use telepathy. I'm going to use 3 points to answer: is she lying, is she hiding something, and what's she thinking right now?
You're like the perfect defense attorney here, or the prosecuting attorney.
It's difficult to make it admissible, but
Yeah, but at least you would know. You know that she did take stuff quite a bit, but Sixter never told her to.
To be fair, we're creating our own legal system as we speak. So our legal system could very well end up being, what does the telepath say?
Well, I mean, that's kind of fair. Yeah.
Is that your actual? What skill does that room?
Telepathy. It's my mutation.
Oh, so you need to roll backfire.
He did.
That's what that's 3d6
Oh,
was.
why does there? Oh, use 3 points. Gotcha. I understand. I just found this skill. Oh, thank you. I love that you can link mutations into chat. It's so awesome.
We know it.
I just drew this picture of him murdering someone. Like, it's admissible.
Okay. Let's see. For every P, you get the answer of one of these questions. So, what is she thinking right now? Well, then you'd know it all. It wasn't Sixter who told her to take those things. It was Vinny. You would know that.
I love this.
Oh dear. Next session's going to be explosive as well. Oh no. Yes.
I'll take a deep breath, and then I'll move closer to Orson and like whisper into his ear. It was Vinny that told her to steal the bullets.
It was food, actually. I think she was stealing mostly, or
Food.
isn't
it
that
was
right?
Ricky that stole the bullets.
Yeah, but she doesn't know
He's
that.
dead.
She's thinking about herself right now, actually. So that's the thought that's strong in her mind. She stole food.
Okay, when you whisper that to me, I just sort of nod at you.
Wait, is that true? Wait a minute. You didn't tell her to steal the food. She was stealing food for her dogs, and you exploited that.
Initially, yeah, and then told her to claim it was Sixter.
Okay, you
Making her
would
do that.
learn that. You would learn all of that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Vinny telling her to steal the food. She did, but Vinny told her to say it was Sixter. All right. You would know that. Okay. Well, Strindas, we do not have Sixter here to, obviously, to speak for himself or Ricky. We know of no others who are involved in this plot. We know only that 2 of our members were executed without the will of the rest of us. And not that that would be our way. What next, Orson? She looks to you.
Is that everyone who's making a case against him? Does anyone else wish to speak against him?
Muba speaks, and she never speaks at assembly. This is completely uncharacteristic of her. I kind of think of Muba as not almost like on the spectrum, like autistic of a sort. Like she's very, direct, very loyal to a fault. Doesn't talk much, but not anything that affects her ability, to reason or anything that way. I have defended Maximon for many years. I have stood by his side. And she looks at him. I know not of a coup, but I do not agree with the execution of 2 members of this Ark. It is not as the Elder would have it. We know this. We are a family. And then, as big and as buff as she is, you can detect, because everyone's looking at her, a slight bit of embarrassment, because she's kind of shy. And then she just sort of bows her head, not really low, but just looks down, not up at the balconies anymore, and steps back.
Would well, I know you said you had a cliffhanger of some kind for us, Andy. Well, I guess how far over are we gonna play? I can keep going if we want. I know we started late.
I think for me to push the cliffhanger it would be too much of a stretch of the story. It would come later. So I think I'm gonna just not have my moment. I'll be denied it. That's fine.
I was thinking my scene with Josephine would kind of coincide with this going on.
Okay.
Could play into what happens next, potentially.
Okay, then if you want to jump to that, well, anyone else wants to think of anything they want to add to the tribunal? So you're meeting at a place that's away from, well, probably not even in the terminal.
I mean, I caught her essentially right outside of the shrine.
Oh, right, of course. Actually, that's right. That borders right on the assembly area. So you'd have to leave it. You'd have to go outside the terminal.
Yeah.
Out by the warehouses between Pontiac's garage and the warehouses where the tent city is. That's a good spot.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's the closest.
I feel like with Puppeteer, you almost they snap out of it, kind of, and
yeah. Well, you told her just to go and meet you there. That was it. That was all of the puppeteering.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's there.
So
she's met you
over there. Josephine, thank you for speaking with me.
She's looking around. Why am I here? Vinny.
You have been chosen for a great purpose, Josephine. I both envy you and pity you.
Chosen by who?
Kind of before she even knows, like before she even understands what's happening, I'm going to parasite her.
Oh, God.
And drain her of 1 empathy. And then I have to roll a mutation. Okay, nothing happens. Then I'm going to use another mutation. Oh, let me see. I'm going to use Puppeteer on her. Oh no. I might be short on mutations. Okay, I have to use manipulate, so I'm gonna say to her, Great Mutant has chosen us as his seers. The connection we have must remain secret. I believe if we work together, we can share a vision. And you must present this vision to the assembly. You can tell no one that we have spoken. And then I'll say, like, do you understand? And I'll manipulate her. She does not understand. Oh, fantastic. Pushing. Okay. For every success, every extra success, so she takes 2 more hits to empathy from doubt. Does that break her?
It does.
Okay, so I'm then going to use Puppeteer and force her to use her seer power to scry. which costs me 2 mutation points. I roll 2 backfire. Nothing happens. I use another mutation point to use Mind Terror and give her a vision of book, the journal, being hidden away in Maximon's quarters by Sixter. Then I'm going to spend another point to use Mind Terror of giving her the vision of Maximon murdering the Elder. I need to roll another backfire for that.
You've got to be out of mutation points here soon.
I am at 0 mutation points. Goodness. At exactly the amount of gain from the push. Backfire. That's my 3rd backfire this game. You suffer the effect of the mutation, take as much trauma. I break myself in the process.
Oh no.
I go to 0 empathy.
You get disoriented and you
like, I take her hands in mine and I say, if we work together, we can have a shared vision from the Great Mutant. You must go tell everyone about this right now and never admit to having met me before, basically. And then we take hands and we share these visions and go into a trance together. And then we both like collapse to the ground, emotionally broken. And because I broke her, she does this without asking anything in return.
But she can't do anything right now. She's broken.
Well, that's the thing is, empathy break is like, not, it doesn't knock you out or anything. Like,
No,
she
but
can
she
still
might be
move and
emotionally out of it. Let's see.
I forget how it describes it exactly. Let's
You
see.
break down in fear, self-pity, or sorrow. When you can't use any skills, perform actions, or activate mutations when you're broken. You can perform 1 maneuver per turn if we're talking about rounds. So she can move.
Two are just sitting there, just like, I'm the worst. No, I'm the worst. No, I'm the worst.
I'm a horrible person.
You are, but I'm worse.
We kind of come out of it, and I say, I fear the Elder may already be dead or in danger, and at Maximon's hands. You must hurry.
She can maneuver, so she will storms into the assembly hall. So this was going on while you guys were deliberating. In tears, because she can't use a skill or anything, so that's all right. Doesn't mean she can't talk. And she runs. She makes quite a scene. She runs up to Oskarshan. Oskarshan. What is it, child? I saw a vision that the Elder was dead. And she says that quite loudly. Not everyone in the assembly hall hears it, but everyone down on the ground. There's some in the balconies and some down on the ground.
Okay, did I hear that?
Yes.
Okay, so I just immediately sweep over there and it's like, we need to get her out of here.
She looks. I saw that Maximon was behind it. And Oskarshan's people takes her away, and Estrina comes up. We keep a close eye on the Elder, daily. In fact, we always leave one of ours there, even during assembly. Trusted person.
she seems to be in hysterics over something. Let's let her calm down and speak to us about what she actually means when she's not so violently upset. That we can't have people shouting out things like that are not true to the assembly.
Oh. I like what... Okay, I'm going to modify my cliffhanger. Oh dear. Yes, we're going to end it here in just a second. Hold on, I got to get a name. Let's see. Dante. Dante was one of Estrina's trusted confidants in the chroniclers. He wasn't in the assembly. And he comes running in, tears in his face. Estrina. And he collapses. And that's where we'll end it.
Oh, jeez.
Dun, dun,
Can we just get through this testimony without everybody running in and yelling?
We're trying to have a trial here!
People bursting in tears.
No, I'm smart again.
No, I am. Part 2 of a quite intense time in the arc will continue next session.
Yeah.
I have already put up the schedule. If you guys would please go and indicate your attendance, please, before we finish, and I will get to the experience section. There we go. All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Did you participate in the session? Yes.
Nope.
Nope. Did you perform a day's work for a project in the Ark? That's only going to be Vinny. Did you explore at least one new sector in the zone? Nope. Sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy? Not really a situation for that. Sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe? Nope. Sacrifice or risk something to mess with the NPC you hate? Yes, for Vinny. He's ended up broken as a result.
Wait for next time.
And then sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream. I'm not sure if sacrifice or risk.
Yeah, I investigate the journal, but it's not really a risk.
I'm not sure I'm entirely happy with these experience questions. I think I might modify some a little bit. But not for today. Alright. Anyone doing any raising of abilities?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a point of comprehend.
I'm gonna bump my scry up to 3.
Oh my god, that's already gotten us into a lot of trouble. God, what is going to happen with this, man? I was saying to Callum and Room and Saul before you guys arrived that this game, more than any other, is just so player-led.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah, definitely.
It's difficult. Like, if I wasn't having to go at anybody, but when people aren't here, it's really difficult for me as a GM to cover for them. Because I just feel like it's so railroady if I do so. And I don't feel like I do a good enough job. playing your characters, but it makes it new to me. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen. Keeps me on my toes.
I won't lie. If you'd have brought that guy up the stairs, I would have thunder cannoned him down them. It's either that or I would have put my energy shoulder cannon in his face and thrown him right in the middle of the meeting.
Thanks.
Which would only add to the distrust of mechanicals, but you are a battle bot.
They are now my rivals.
I suspect they're probably not going to be quick to come back to spy on you anytime soon.
We need to
However,
do deaths.
might be the other way around. You spying on them. Yes, let's do death. So we have, who would like to roll the six-sider -1? Another reason to increase your food stat so you have even less die.
I think we'll keep it where it is. Dying's a part of life.
Who would like to
Thompson.
roll?
Likely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll roll it.
4. Okay. Saul, would you do the honors then of updating our journal? Our spreadsheet? So we have how many?
147.
147, so we need to do 4 D147 rolls. 133. Oh my god, almost another sentinel. But Brett,
Oh no, not Brad.
the last of the non-gang in the list of the non-gang affiliation.
Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah. So you're able to update that? Are you
Saul's
with?
on the call.
She's not.
No.
Oh.
Oh, so she dropped.
Well, I'll make a note that he's died, and then... Died, what do we got? Oh. Alright, I marked that he's dead. Okay. Another roll?
We each do one, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
131.
Another non-gang member. Just gonna be Christy. She's a rabbit!
No, it's the second rabbit to go.
Yeah. Lack, you want to do a roll?
Sure.
And then Callum, you can do a roll. If you know how to modify it, Callum, just do click any of the dice down there in the lower right hand corner, then change the dice number to 147.
Yeah. Let me log back in.
Oh, sorry, you logged out. Sorry.
Yeah, so good. It's not an invalid password. You're an invalid password.
117.
Oh my.
Another gang, reptilian enforcer.
There we go. Thundercon.
Benny.
147.
Yeah.
147. Oh,
But did actually roll though?
no. Didn't roll, because...
Oh, yeah. It just... That's not a die roll.
Thank you. 147.
You type /roll 1d.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it did the same thing.
That's it. Right, let me edit that one. 7. I hate commands. Damn.
There we go.
Summer Dog's Day. Rough.
142. Oh, that is a sentinel. The numbers are all screwy though.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. I just noticed that too.
That happens. Saul must be modifying it.
I was just cutting, pasting
Oh
into the dead
dear.
list, and it like changed everything. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's why I need
Control
Saul.
Z it. I didn't think it would.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
142 is Jenna Chronicler.
Luminous Jenna.
There we go. Okay. That's really strange that it.
It's the programming that Saul had done. I'll let Saul update this whenever she comes back. I don't know what's happened to her. Alright, and then we need to roll why they died, so I think I have to roll that. So, first one, Expedition into the Zone. Who was the first one? That was Brett. Okay, and next one is natural causes, illness, or infection. That was who? Christy, the rabbit.
Weakling.
Yeah.
Myxomatosis.
I just realized you're rolling it through me.
He's possessed you.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, I must have you. Oh, I got your token selected accidentally. Here, I've unselected you now.
Liar.
Liar. To die a result of a story event is determined by GM.
Got trampled by fucking Ran when he was running.
See who. Oh, that's going to be Benny. What would that be? Can happen afterwards. Maybe there's a. Maybe there's a bit of a riot after this. Alright, and lastly, I'll figure that one out. So, of an accident while working on an ARC project. Alright, well, we got a few of those going on. Chronicler.
Spike trap.
Yeah. Okay. That's all of those.
Oh, good game. A lot of tension.
Yeah.